Hi, and welcome to the Teaching Corner. Today we're going to be using touch points to help us with multiplication. If you remember in the last video, we did a multiplication chart to help us with skip counting. So what the students are going to do now is use the numbers in their multiplication problem to help them skip count to the answer. So if we have an easy one like 7 times 2, if your student is more comfortable with their lower facts and they know their 2's and not their 7's very well, then they can count by 2's on the 7. So they could say 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 10, 12, 14. Or if they're really good skip counting by 7, they can do it the other way. So they can say 7, 14. The same thing is true if the numbers are this way. They can either count by 3's on the 5 or count by 5's on the 3. So they can either say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 or 5, 10, 15. Whichever way, whichever numbers they're the most comfortable with. Now I teach my students the trick using their hands for the 9s. So for this one, I would encourage my students to use their hands and put down the 6th number and say 9 times 6 is 54. We can also use touch points when multiplying larger numbers, 2-digit, 3-digit numbers. So for this one, they would say 4 times 1. They would just count 4 one time, so they would say 4. Then 4, and they're going to count it 3 times, so 4, 8, 12. If your student has difficulty putting things in the right place, maybe they write really large or they squish numbers over or they're hard to read, you can put these little dots on their paper to help cue them if it goes in the 1's place, the 10's place, the 100's, the 1000's, whatever. So for this case, we're going to count by 3's. So we're going to say 3 times 1, which we know is 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. Write our 2 down here, and if you need to cue them, you could put a little line there to remind them that they put the 1 on top. So now they're going to say 3, 3, 6, and then they add the 1, so that's 7, and then they're going to count by 3's 5 times. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Now once they've gotten this far, I remind my students to start all the way over at the right, count 3 numbers, and figure out where to put their comma. So now if we're doing a problem like this, we're going to do 8, and we're going to count 8 by 8 7 times. So we're going to say 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. We'll put our 6 there and carry our 5. If you need it, if you have a student that needs some prompting, you could put a little line here to help them remember. Now hopefully, since they just did it, they'll know that 8 times 7 is 56, and then we add the 5. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Of course, if your student is struggling with that, they can just recount again. In this last problem, we have a 2-step problem. So we're going to have to multiply by everything by 5 and then add a 0 and multiply everything by 6. So 6 times 4, or 5 times 4, excuse me, we're going to count by 5's. 5, 10, 15, 20. We write our 0 down here, carry our 2. Then we're going to count by 5 6 times. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. Then count by 5 7 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. Now we're going to drop a 0. I like to have my students cross out the 5 so they know that they're done with it. And now we're going to count by 6's. So 6, 12, 18, 24. They write their 4 here and carry their 2. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 37, 38. carry their 3. And then 6 times 7 is 42, 43, 44, 45. And then they're going to add these numbers together. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 4. And then they start at the back. They're going to count up 3 numbers and put in their comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. So that's how you use touch points to help you with multiplication. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!